Hi, Facebook land. It is day 5 of my 30 days of Facebook Lives in a row. So here we are, day 5, and I want to talk about the way we treat ourselves. Listen, especially for you women out there. I know this is a thing for guys too, but my work over the years has primarily been with women, and those are the ones that I hear talking to me. Those are the people that I hear telling me this is what I think about myself. Plus, I see it around me so often. How many times have you heard the women around you say things like, "Ugh, my thighs are just so disgusting," or "Ew, the cellulite, oh, I hate this," or they say, "Oh, my jiggly arms," or "I can't believe I have so many wrinkles on my face." We are trained as women to focus so much on the outside. And it is considered completely socially appropriate for us to constantly criticize ourselves. And I didn't even realize how damaging this was until maybe 4 years ago. And I'm in my late 40s, people, okay? Because, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So I've been around the block a few times, but it was only now in my mid 40s, well, a few years ago in my mid 40s, that I really realized what a problem this was and what it had become for me. When you constantly criticize yourself, and it's considered totally okay to do that, what you're doing is breaking yourself down inside of you constantly. Hi, Debbie. When I'm doing Facebook Lives on the phone, it doesn't always tell me when people are watching, but sometimes it does. So, hey, Debbie, I'm so glad you're with me today. I hope you get a lot out of this. So I'm talking about how we treat ourselves on the inside as women and how we allow each other to do it, honestly. Now, let's be real. All right, when you're with your girlfriends and one of them says something like, "Oh, I just, whatever." They criticize some part of themselves, like, "Oh, the thought that came to my mind is so funny because I thought about my lips, right? When I was young, I thought that my lips were too full because it was the 80s and thin lips were in. And so I thought, my lips are too big. They're fat lips. Well, then 10 or 15 years later, women are paying lots of money to put Botox into their lips and make them fatter and bigger. And now my face is kind of morphed over the years. So now my lips are thin again. Go figure. But like this problem I had with myself when I was young, I don't have this problem anymore. But like I remember I don't even know, it was probably 5th or 6th grade. I was at an ice skating rink with friends and we were looking in the mirror in the bathroom. And I remember, I don't know if I said it out loud, I think I did, or I just thought it to myself, but I was comparing my lips to other people's and thinking, my lips aren't pretty. And I was talking about it with a friend recently, and she mentioned something similar for herself. It's like from an early age, we start critiquing the way that we look, and it continues. So let me tell you, after, half a lifetime of doing this to myself, finally in my 40s, I realized this is really harming me, like at a deeper level. This isn't just about, no, let's feel good about ourselves and be fine with ourselves and how we look, because that's what I was getting at a minute ago. If you're with a girlfriend and she critiques herself, a lot of times we'll actually encourage one another. And sometimes it's like a subconscious thing that we'll say something negative because we want our friend to tell us, "Oh no, girl, you're beautiful. You look great. Your lips are fine, or your eyebrows are fine just the way they are." And that does help to hear it from other people. But if you're not giving that to yourself, let me tell you, what is going on inside your head is harming you. It's harming you at a mental level, an emotional level, the spiritual level, and yes, even the physical. Because when you are constantly giving yourself these negative thoughts in your head, your body is actually going to respond to those. Every thought we think manifests, not like manifesting like in a woo-woo way, but every thought that we think produces chemicals and hormones that then go throughout our body. So if you're always thinking to yourself things about yourself that are bad, that are negative, you're actually going to create neural pathways in your mind that say things like, "I'm ugly, I'm not worthy, I don't need to make myself a priority, I don't like myself very much. The kinds of things that we as women tell ourselves or allow ourselves to think in our minds are really destructive. And that's why when a friend says them about herself, we correct her instantly and be like, that's not who you are. That's not what you're about. But if that's coming out of your friend's mouth, imagine what's going on inside of her head all the time. And if you start listening to your own thoughts in your head, you might be surprised at how much you're criticizing yourself. We always talk about with children, you want to give 10 positives for every one correction. Are you doing that to yourself in your mind? Or are you spending a lot more time on things that you should do better, or things that you need to improve, or things that you don't like about yourself? And I'm not just talking about jiggly arms or cellulite on your legs or your hips are too wide. I'm talking about maybe some deeper things about yourself that you don't like. Maybe you don't like the way you interact with people. Maybe you feel deep shame over some choices that you've made in your life and you haven't let those go. Maybe you didn't stand up for yourself in certain ways when you really wish that you would have. And now in your mind, you're just replaying them over and over and over again. Whatever you continue in your mind is going to persist in your life. So if you're constantly telling yourself that you're fat and ugly, you don't have a whole lot of hope of changing, because your mind is giving that message to your body all the time. But if you start thinking, you know what? I'm beautiful. God made me beautiful. Or I'm working on myself and I'm improving every day. When you start repeating things like that, then your mind starts accepting them. What you're doing is you are building a new belief system, because what you believe comes from your thoughts. Your thoughts form your attitudes. Your attitudes are feelings, and those feelings form an entire belief system. So I want you to really ask yourself, what kind of belief system are you forming in your mind about yourself, about your place in this world? Is your belief system that I'm overweight, and hence I am somehow unacceptable, or I'm not good enough, or I am shameful, or I should feel guilty, or I should feel bad? If that's what's going through your mind, if that's the belief system that you've built, then no matter what diet you try, it is not going to work. Or maybe you can physically force your body to shed some weight, but then if you're still carrying that belief system, that weight is going to come back on. Because what you believe deep down is that you're fat. What you believe deep down is that you're unacceptable. What you believe deep down is that you're ugly. If you treat yourself with disgust and loathing and shame inside your mind, that's what you're going to continue to get more of. So, friends, how do you get out of this? Well, that's what I teach in Weight Release. I teach women how to change their thinking, how to shift what's going on down at a deeper level. We have a lot of different tools that I teach in order to do that. There's a whole bunch of them. And if you want to learn more about them, just join my Facebook group. Start following me in right here on this page. Keep listening to the videos. I'll share more and more about what we do and how we can actually change those belief systems. In fact, I'm going to be doing a free week of coaching. I'm calling it the Food Freedom Challenge, and I'm planning it for just a few weeks from now. It's going to be November 9th. And I'm going to be talking about how we can use these tools to shift our belief systems, which then shift our behaviors, so that if you're someone that struggles with weight, you're going to be able to get through the holidays and actually release weight instead of gain it, because you're working on yourself. But whether weight is an issue for you or not, I want you to hear that whatever you're inputting into your mind, that's what you're going to keep getting. We have to let go of this self-disgust and this self-criticism and the self-loathing that is so acceptable in our society. It is not okay, and it's harming you from the inside out. The truth is, you're beautiful. The truth is, you're made in God's image. The truth is, even if you are carrying extra weight, which, hello, I still am. I've released some of it. I'm still working on the rest, but I'm not going to wait until I'm done to start appreciating who I am and appreciating the good things that God has put inside of me. I'm not defined by a number on the scale. You are not defined by whether you like the color of your hair, which that's easily changed in today's society, but maybe you don't like that it's naturally curly and you wish it was straight. You're not defined by the exterior. You're also not defined by your past. So if there are things that you've been beating yourself up about in your head, let's talk about how to let those go so that you can define yourself the way that God wants you to. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let go of the self-criticism. Let's move into a better place of understanding who we really are before God so that we can become the people that He really wants us to be. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you all tomorrow.